Ready? Cool. All right, so I'm going to take over this spot, if that's okay?
Yeah, sure.
Cool.
Do you think?
Great, and then once we get started, I'll press USB, I'll switch it over.
All right.
You sure you're good? Okay, cool. Hello, everyone, and welcome to DeepStation. Thank you all so much for coming. Woo! Look at this. Wow. Look at this amazing community. Thank all of you so much for coming today. I know it's a busy day, but you know what? We're going to learn a lot today about OpenClaw. We're bringing together quite a few industry professionals together so that we can all share more about how this is working, how this is impacting the future, and how you can actually use it yourself, and so that you can see use cases and so forth. So before we get started, I want to share real quick about what is DeepStation. So DeepStation is a global AI community that brings together engineers, professionals, and enthusiasts together so that we can all stay ahead of the AI wave. I'm sure that all of you can see that things are moving so fast. A couple months ago it was Codex, then it was Claude Code, then now it's OpenClaw. Everything's just moving incredibly fast. And so the one way that we can all stay ahead is by gathering together, sharing ideas, building startups together, doing business together, and just sharing research together. And so DeepStation's mission is to accelerate AI education and innovation through the power of community. And we would not be here today without a few of our sponsors. As you have known, Miami-Dade College is one of our main sponsors, so let's give it up for Miami-Dade College. Amazing, amazing. As Pedro mentioned, it's actually one of the largest student bodies in the nation. They have a great education here as well. So if you're looking to stay ahead, if you want to learn more, feel free to join the AI clinics here. They have really great education. You get some great certificates, also partnered with Google. And also, let's give it up for Miami TechWorks and the EDA and the Department of Commerce. They're also one of our other sponsors. Feel free to give it up. Miami TechWorks and DeepStation has a partnership to help accelerate tech talent throughout the United States and specifically in South Florida. So if you're looking for a job and anything like that, feel free to let us know, and we'll try to help you get connected. We have a few initiatives rolling out very soon, and we're very excited to announce that so that we can help folks get connected, get jobs, and help talent, as I mentioned, get those jobs, and also help the companies find local talent. And we're able to do that. I mean, look around this very room. We have some of the brightest, the best professionals, enthusiasts, engineers, and so forth. And also, Coffin Rawson is another one of our wonderful sponsors, one of the leading CPA advisory firms here in Florida. We've actually helped train over 100 employees at Coffin Rawson, and we're really great folks over there. If you're looking to get M&A, if you're getting acquired, if you need help with accounting and so forth, there are definitely some folks that you want to reach out to. Or if you're looking for digital transformation, they have a really great team over there. Vera Newland and I did a few events together over there, and also did corporate training and so forth. And she was formerly at KPMG, head of the Digital Innovation Lab. So definitely recommend chatting with Coffin Rawson. Of course, a little bit of a typo there, but DeepStation also offers AI solutions and integration for agents and anything of the sort. So we work with enterprise and mid-market corporations. So if any of you need help building your agents or building any type of automations, feel free to let us know. We have talent throughout the United States and elsewhere. And of course, if any of you are looking to have some fun in the next 2 weeks, we have a hackathon with Google. Some folks might know of them. Google is one of the leading leaders in AI with Gemini and so forth. And so on March 20th, if any of you want to scan the QR code right here, on March 20th at the lab, we'll be having around 200 developers together, hacking together. So we'll be having cash prizes. We'll be having Gemini subscriptions for the winners. We'll be having partners with all the fellow AI communities working with us on this one. We're going to be hacking with the Google ADK, the Gemini API, as well as Google Anti-Gravity. So things that you want to build, now's your chance to go build it, work with some great teammates, and have some fun. And last but not least, if you'd like to join our community, go ahead and scan this QR code. And this will get you connected to our WhatsApp, our YouTube. If you miss any of our episodes, feel free to just follow along there. We have great live streams, videos, and more. But before I go on for too long, the real event is about the speakers in this room that are sharing real use cases about how they're building today. Who here has played with OpenClaw so far? Amazing. Wow, a lot of builders in the room. Who here has heard of it but are interested in learning more? Nice, all the hands, a lot of hands. Amazing, amazing. Yes, we have really great builders in this room. We have very great enthusiasts and curious folks that are wanting to build and learn how to do this. And so, this is going to be a really wonderful event. OpenClaw, as you know, has made it so that you can work with your machines with pretty much unlimited permissions. So with great risk comes great responsibility, right? So we want to share about how some people are building it themselves, so that you can see how we can leverage the power of these agents to operate our machines, our computers, to automate our tasks and help improve our lives, and maybe make some money in the process. So, Michael, you've been a community member since pretty much day one of DeepStation. Is that right?
Yes, I have. Oh,
let me go ahead and turn that on for you.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I've been. So the way I found out about DeepStation, I used to go to these events in Fort Lauderdale, but they were mixers, and I spoke to one person. And they're like, you gotta check out DeepStation. I'm like, okay, cool. And then I walked across the room, talked to a couple more people, and another guy said, hey, I quit my job at Amazon to build GPT plugins. And by the way, you gotta check out DeepStation. So I'm like, all right, if you got people here quitting their jobs at Amazon, I gotta go check out DeepStation. And sure enough, it's like the first event where people really build and show off their work, and they have the energy. They're really about AI. And also, there's a lot of AI anxiety. And that's why I came to the community, because, we're in an industrial revolution. We're actually in the fourth industrial revolution. So things are moving fast. We're in the parabola. And being here in the community, you're going to stay ahead of AI. You're going to feel a little bit more calm because you understand what the changes are. Since you're here tonight, you're actually ahead of a lot of people. So I'm glad you're here tonight.
Let's give it up one more time for Mike Friedberg. And thank you so much again for helping host tonight's great event. I love also the costume. We gotta give it up for the claw, for the OpenClaw. So as Michael said, he's so humble. He's always been building agents. I remember last year you talked a little bit about multi-agent orchestration with agent swarms, and you predicted within a year, right? This was a year ago, that we'd start seeing it everywhere, and everyone would start starting to use it, and it would actually be effective. Because last year it wasn't, right?
Yeah, no, it was very bad before. But now we see that it's being used in our work now. So a lot of organizations are even changing their software development lifecycle to use AI as part of developing code and pushing into production. So,
and Mike Friedberg, he's a senior software engineer at Oracle, does a lot of work in software engineering and working with AI. So we're really excited to learn more about what you're doing. So if you could just go ahead and get started. You might have to share your screen one more time.
Oh yeah, sure. Oh no. I'm just gonna do this. All right, let me go to StreamYard and allow while visiting the site.
Perfect.
Is it online now or no?
Scroll down a little bit. Yeah, share screen. Perfect. We'll be right back. No.
Okay, I'll try to keep the screen awake.
Great. And I'll go ahead and just start with the intro one more time.
Got it.
So Mike Friedberg, senior software engineer over at Oracle, working with automation, software engineering, and also AI all the time. So I can't wait to learn more from you, Mike. Feel free to take it away.
Yeah, absolutely. I just like to know my crowd. So this year, I had a friend, instead of doing a New Year's resolution, I did a word that would describe this year. And I thought about it, and my word this year is communication. So I want to be about communication. I'm actually half Brazilian, but I wasn't taught Portuguese when I was raised. So I'm reconnecting to my roots, and I started learning Portuguese. And a lot of Brazilian people say that I speak very good Portuguese now. So staying on the word communication, I built something to help me stay in contact with people, because I'm very bad at following up. For example, I go to all these events, and someone will give me their business card, and I'll never follow up with them. That business card is somewhere in my bag or somewhere on my desk, and that person could have been a great connection that I didn't follow up with. So I made something that would help with that, called NextHello. So I originally started working with OpenClaw. I was trying to build this tool within OpenClaw, but I got a little nervous how powerful OpenClaw was. So what OpenClaw is, in a nutshell, and I don't want to steal the thunder from the next speakers, they're going to go very in-depth into what OpenClaw is. It's a sovereign AI agent. So what's an AI agent? Basically, it's an autonomous software process that can work on its own. And what makes the OpenClaw a little bit different is it'll just work on its own. For example, I don't know if you guys know Micah Berkeley. He made a tweet and he complained about his YouTube video being taken down, and his OpenClaw actually made a new video for him to upload because it read his Twitter, and it did it without him asking. So that's what makes it very powerful. It can do things that are very cool, but also very scary. Like, you shouldn't just put OpenClaw on your computer, because some people have done that and they've asked it to make them money, and it found their credit card somewhere and it started buying master classes for $10,000 and there's no refunds. So, and another person connected to his iMessage and it sent out 500 messages to all his contacts. So you gotta be super careful. That's why I bought this Mac Mini. I installed it here. Unfortunately, I can't connect it to the Swarm. So I did think of this, and I made a video of what I'm using OpenClaw specifically for. But what I did is I built a AI swarm. So an AI swarm is a bunch of agents working together as a team, and OpenClaw is one of the agents, and the orchestrator will send instructions to the OpenClaw using something called Tailscale. So what Tailscale is, it lets you basically communicate between computers, and I'm having an issue with it, but I opened up an API gateway here, and you can send requests to it. So I'm gonna go into the slides.
Oh, is this connected?
No, it's not.
Oh, can we connect to your computer?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, I didn't understand how it worked. Got it. All right, 1 second. Is it showing?
There we go.
All right,
perfect.
Cool. All right, let's start. So, has anybody here been left on red before? Have been left on red. So being left on red means like you sent a message to someone and they saw it and that's it. Yeah. So I actually have done that accidentally to somebody because, you know, I saw the message and then something happened and my attention got gravitated away and I forgot about that person. Has anybody left someone on red in the same way? Yeah. On purpose, maybe? Ah, yeah. I guess that's different, right? Anyway, so what is NextHello? So NextHello is kind of like the reverse of OpenClaw. OpenClaw has these connections, and you can send messages to it and to control what is going on within the machine. You're giving it instructions about, like, you could tell it what to do. But what I wanted to do was I wanted to send messages to people who send a message to me. So I'm gonna just go into what NextHello is. So basically, if you send a message to my WhatsApp number, I'm gonna auto respond, but it's not me, it's my AI clone. It has my voice, it has a video clone of me too. I use HeyGen, and it will conversate with you. And what its goal is to follow up with you, figure out who you are, research who you are, and I'm gonna go into that, do a live demo. So live demos are very risky. So if it doesn't work, I apologize, but I'll explain what it's supposed to do, all right? Let me just go down here. You know, to be honest, I just made these slides with Gamma.ai, just have some slides. I'm gonna get right into the demo. If I see anything on these slides that I need to say, I'll just say it. So I wanna get right into this. All right, so this is kind of the flow. So I am running everything on this machine here. This is it's running something called Docker Desktop. It's containerization. And what that is basically I can mock the infrastructure that would normally be on the cloud on my machine. It's super easy. And in the end, I'm gonna share this repo with everyone and you guys can probably get it set up in like 15 minutes and have the same thing. One caveat is this is a gray area. WhatsApp does not design their tool for this purpose. I'm using the same connections as OpenClaw. It's called Bailey's NPM, and WhatsApp has WhatsApp Business, and they prefer you to go through there. They sell their API credits and stuff. So if this gets taken down, it's because it was already in a gray area. So now let's go ahead, and if you guys want, you can start talking to my AI clone here. So this barcode will take you to my WhatsApp. If you want, this is only on WhatsApp. It's not on Telegram. It's not on iMessage or anything. If you guys want, you can start going ahead and message this phone number right here. I'll leave it up for a second, and then I'm going to go to another screen. All right. I'll go back to it. I just want to get the screen ready. Give me 1 second here. So let's see here. Just want to make sure. Okay, let me change directory to UI. npm run dev. Oh no, it had some problems when like too many people message it at the same time. So we got a few people. All right, so I did create, right here, you can see the swarm working. So these are all the agents, right? And by the way, if you want to use this, it's called React Flow. It's really cool. This is the swarm orchestrator. It has the OpenClaw, which is not going to work because it's not connected. There's something called a qualifier, personalization, video. I only have 24 credits with HeyGen. Super expensive. It's $1 per video. So it might not work, but it'll talk to you. I'm using OpenAI 5.1 codecs to communicate. So you're going to start seeing some messages here. And just, you know, for privacy purposes, I have this application on demo mode. So that being on demo mode, I kind of like redacted everyone's name. So if you see this here, it's not going to show anyone's contact information because I'm respectful of the Privacy Act and I don't want to leak PII. And I can see the messages. I'm not sure, but I put safeguards in there. So nobody should, like, you can try to send some vulgar stuff, but it'll catch it and maybe, you know, respond in an appropriate way. But anyway, this is Core AI. I do have a video showing what I'm using OpenClaw for, but I'll just explain it here. I want to connect with everyone on LinkedIn, and what I can do is use the OpenClaw Chrome browser relay extension. So the way I use the Mac Mini. I know a lot of people, they use DigitalOcean or they use some other cloud service provider. It's going to be kind of hard because you need to log in, and a lot of these sites have anti-scraping tools. This is kind of scraping, it's automation, right? So what you can do, you download the extension, you connect it to your OpenClaw, and it'll use that session, and it'll start clicking around. I just used this today, so it's not perfect, but it did work. It's super slow. There's no way it can handle like everyone in this room, but I'm going to try to make it work better and also maybe put in a queue. So what a queue is basically, it's like a line, and it'll work one by one. I'll connect with everybody. So did anybody get messages, by the way? Oh, wow. I'm impressed. This is kind of like a live, like we call a load test, K6 load test. So anyway, you know, I don't want to be boring, but let's do like some trivia. I'm going to throw out some OpenClaw swag. So who is the maker of OpenClaw? I'll let who said what? The guy that did the PDF? Peter Steinberg. I think that's true, right? Yeah? Okay. There you go. You gotta wear it. You gotta put it on. Put it on. All right. Did anybody get a video yet? No video? It might come later. So let me just log into my HeyGen. It might not work. Let me log into my HeyGen really quick. Hold on a second. HeyGen. All right, so what HeyGen is really quick, basically you can create an AI clone of yourself and you can script it and you can send anybody a video of you talking with your voice and your face. It's pretty cool. So let me see here. It might be broken, but I'll play an older video. I'll play an older video. Hey, Cisa, this video was generated specifically for you by a swarm of AI agents running in the background. I designed these kinds of systems to help founders and teams move faster, automate intelligently, and unlock new leverage. Hey, Cisa, this video was generated specifically for you by a swarm of AI agents running in the background. I designed these kinds of systems to help founders and teams move faster, automate intelligently, and unlock new leverage. If you're curious what this could look like inside your business, let's connect. So basically, there's a little bit of feedback. I think I just need to mute site. All right, there we go. All right, going back here. So Cesa's actually my mom. So, and she, by the way, she begs me to make AI features for her because she likes to create YouTube content. She creates videos in Portuguese. So the next thing I'm working on is something that will change your voice into another language. But anyway, so I'm using OpenClaw specifically to do things that would normally take me a lot of time with designing an agent. You can create headless browsers, but browser scraping is super hard, and that's what I want to use OpenClaw for. Let me go to the next slide here. So you can switch out. I designed it to where you can switch out the models. This is actually very expensive to use models. For example, like I'll just tell a quick story. I downloaded the Open Code. It's a new tool similar to Codex and OpenClaw, but you can switch your models. And I put the OpenAI 5.4 model, the new one, the Pro, and I ran it for 15 minutes. In 15 minutes, I spent $65. And I'm like, this is not normal, but I guess you have to pay attention to how much 1 million tokens cost. So I spent $65. So you could switch out models. You could use cheap ones like Llama models. You could usually run that on your machine. It's free. It's super slow. You're going to get different results. So if you compare it to like getting an OpenAI or Anthropic model. Oh, by the way, go ahead and talk to it. Go ahead and record a message. I forgot about that. It talks in my voice. I don't know if anybody got the voice message yet or not. Did anyone get the voice message? Okay. No video, no voice message, but messages. Got it. Do not ignore me. Okay. Say again?
It made a reference to BHCA, which is something I do for work. How would it
I have a research agent that looks people's information up online. Yeah. Yeah, but if no one feels comfortable having your information with me, I want it to follow the Privacy Act. You can send it, please delete all my information, and it will delete it off the database here. And it will send you a message letting you know that all the information has been deleted. But you can talk to it. You can talk to it in other languages. So far, I tested out Spanish, Portuguese, and Russian. And then it comes out in my voice. So the Portuguese is fantastic. I was like, dang, it's better Portuguese than my Portuguese. So
What's the name of the thing that pulls the
Crew AI. Yeah, sure. So what Crew AI is, he actually spoke, the founder is Brazilian. He's from São Paulo. He spoke at DeepStation. And he made a framework for building AI orchestration with AI swarms. So crewai.com. It's an open source framework. There's others. This is not the only one. There's also like agency framework. It's a guy from Georgia, not the state of Georgia, the country of Georgia. He designed it, and it's pretty good. But I use Crew AI, and let me go back to. Anything is kind of more of a, what you see is what you get solution built by a company like make.com. And I use that first, but they don't let you do what I just did. Well, yeah, because I can send out whatever messages I want. If you use make.com or NNM, you have to use the Facebook business API, and all the messages have to be pre-approved. So this is definitely in the gray area, and I don't think it's going to last very long. Go ahead.
For a company like
3 months ago. So you do everything you just did for NM.
Yeah.
Agents. I like OpenClaw. I think it's super complicated to make. It's just like using cloud codes in the hands. So just make it right away. I think the project we last year, that took me like a week and a half. I did like 5 grand work to them.
Oh, congratulations.
No, but I did something very similar with the WhatsApp messages.
Yeah.
Also, I know a lot of obligations with
What was the name of that?
Wappy. It's like $30 a month.
So that's called Wappy, guys. $30 a month. WHADI, Wappy. Check it out. So this tool that I use, it's called Bailey's. It's the same one that OpenClaw uses. It's an NPM package. Hey, Grant, how am I doing on time?
8 minutes.
8 minutes to go or 8 minutes in? Okay, 8 minutes to go. So I'll just do more questions. Anybody have any questions?
So have you played with the subscription of OpenAI, the $20 on paying for usage?
Yeah, that's what it's using right now. It's using the OpenAI models right now.
But the subscription, the 20, not an API token.
Oh, you're talking about, yeah, I played with that too.
Okay, so I was just gonna say that for the group. I mean, for $20 a month, you get all you can eat. I mean, don't even worry about paying for an API.
Yeah, so what he's saying, for $20, if you get the pro subscription, you can play around with the OpenAI.com chat. And also they let you authenticate in. So there'll be in OpenClaw, when you're configuring it, it'll ask you how do you want to sign up. And you can use your API key, or you can use the OAuth token. So the OAuth token uses a $20 a month plan.
Right, and
So-
it's plenty. It's really.
You're still capped, right? Yeah. Yeah, because I hemorrhage money with these demos with the agents. Like last year it was worse, but now it's getting a little bit better. Now it's just a few cents, but you gotta be very careful and conscious of which model you're using. So any other questions? Yeah.
So I think for a lot of people, this is really new technology, and it's helpful to see all the individual APIs and the different platforms that you're using. You've clearly spent a lot of time figuring out, building out like the CRM workflow and the video workflow. Can you help us at a high level frame how we should be thinking about interacting with OpenClaw?
I would take it with a grain of salt because I don't know exactly how it was made, but I heard it was vibe coded, just like this thing I made. I didn't write a single line of code. It was all me prompting it. So
framing it around, hey, I've got an OpenClaw set up with Telegram or WhatsApp. Where do I start? What should I say? It becomes very overwhelming to think about, like, do I think about it as a person that's managing my calendar? Do I think about it as a software engineer? You've spent a lot more time than I have in terms of how do you think about asking it things to do? I'm pretty sure most of us have used ChatGPT, but the limitations is it's a ask and exchange versus I give it something and it just does stuff.
yeah, well, OpenClaw actually has a soul, And I don't want to steal the thunder of our next speaker, but he's going to go really in depth into all of what you just said. But basically, you got to think of OpenClaw as a person. Even when you set it up, you have to kind of give it like who you are, what it is, what you need to call it. You got to give it some context, and it'll save these contexts in MD files, and it lives by those MD files. But you can update it at any time. So that's how OpenClaw works. But basically, it works like on a cron job. So it wakes up, it reads these MD files, and it starts going to work. There's actually a few of them, and our next speaker, Alan, he's actually going to go really in depth into all these files and how they work and how you should set them up. Yeah.
This happens with email, but what if a person What if a person contact WhatsApp and mark you as spam or anything? But that is concerning. A person that I know lost his WhatsApp forever. So.
That's why I didn't use my real phone number. I got a second phone, a second line, because I already thought exactly what you said. I got a second phone number, second line. I do not use my real phone number because, like I said, there's no way that Facebook has a business API designed for what I'm doing, and I'm doing it for free, and I'm also doing it unfiltered.
Yeah, have you implemented OpenClaw on a local model versus a cloud model, and what has been your different experience?
So not OpenClaw, but I did the Crew AI. It's so bad. It's lost. So I tried Llama 3, and then I tried Llama 4. It wasn't really that good. It's like the Anthropic and the OpenAI models are magnitudes better because they're paid. So and they're faster too. So, but they do have services where you can use their hosted models, and it might work a little bit better, like a little bit faster. The latency's better. But I recommend using the paid models for things that need more thinking, more power. Could you pass the mic to him? Sorry.
Which one?
In the back. Yeah.
Hey, thanks for the talk. Can you tell more about architecture of memory layer? You said you mostly rely on MD files. Do you use any additional context? And how you manage context, how you optimize a context retrieval and memory layer, basically.
So for my OpenClaw, I didn't invest too much time in the MD files because I gave it a very simple task. Go overhead and research somebody. And I actually give it a command through the other swarms. So the orchestrator receives your message, and it'll determine whether to do research. And if it does research on you, it'll send it over to a couple different agents. One agent that I'm using, it uses something called People Data Labs. Shout out to Micah Berkeley, he's the one who told me about that. And then the other one uses OpenClaw, and that's to connect with someone on LinkedIn. So in my slides, I am going to show you that here. I had to upload this to YouTube. And it's just a very basic video, but what's important is this plugin right here. It's hard to see. It says on. So this is the OpenClaw browser relay extension, and it's connected to the OpenClaw, and it knows to you instruct your OpenClaw to use this browser profile. So my browser profile is called My Chrome, and it's already logged into my LinkedIn, which saves you so much trouble if you were trying to do some like browserless automation, and you have to deal with anti-scraping from whatever service you're trying to scrape. So let me just play this. So I apologize, Grant. I disconnected from you on LinkedIn for this demo, so don't feel bad. I think I reconnected with you. That's why I disconnected from you. So here, this was all done from OpenClaw. The orchestrator agent sent an instruction, and it sent it to the OpenClaw via Tailscale. And then another video popped up. That's not from me, sorry. But anyway, it connected with Grant. I got to double check if I'm still connected with him, because I think I was testing it. So that's what I was using OpenClaw for. And then I added some stuff here. I rebuilt this app 3 times. It's all been vibe coded. I learned about vibe coding. You really need to commit everything you do, you have to commit the changes, because you can break the app so fast and it doesn't know how to fix it. And I don't know how to fix it because I didn't build anything. I just prompted everything. So I use test-driven development. I asked it to create an architecture.md so that way I can understand what it's doing. So I like to use things like Grafana, Loki, and I did have a dashboard, and the dashboard was designed to let me know how much I was spending on which LLM, which API credit I was using for like PageN. I'm using 11 Labs for my voice, things like that. So this is a built-in Grafana, and I'll just show you that my dashboards are empty here. Let me go here, dashboard. I just have some errors. I like to look at, I like to make sure I have a log trace of errors, so that way you can debug things. All this, by the way, is on my GitHub, which I'm gonna share in another slide as we come to an end here. All right, so next steps for this, I want to connect other connections, so iMessage, Telegram, maybe email, so that way if anybody wants to connect on a different platform, they can, and it's synced to the contact. That's the next thing. The next thing is to get it up on the cloud, and also to do the follow-up. Like, I already had this connected to Calendly, where you can schedule an appointment with me and, you know, maybe go for a coffee, and we could talk about AI, we could talk about tech, and maybe build something together. So, all right.
Sorry, what was that API for LinkedIn that had the anti-scraping? People DB or whatever?
People Data Labs.
People Data Labs.
It doesn't use LinkedIn, it's just a database of information. So some people are ghosts. Like, I searched some people, they didn't pop up. I popped up. It knew where I worked at since like 10 years ago. It knew where I live, things like that.
People Data Labs, you're putting in a LinkedIn profile, and then you're getting a domain and phone number.
So with the LinkedIn, the way it works is it'll take your company, because what my swarm does, it tries to figure out who you are. It's asking your company. It'll take your name, your company. It'll be on my LinkedIn. LinkedIn has good algorithms already to try to find people. So I'll just get the first person, and I'm kind of guessing that first person is you, and then I try to connect with you. But if not, like, the worst case is I connected with someone that has your same name.
Well, amazing, amazing. Let's give it up one more time for Michael Friedberg.
Thank you.
Yes, and so who here learned something new about OpenClaw tonight? And, you know, like just a new use case and so forth. Very cool, very cool. So that's one of the use cases of how you can use OpenClaw in your day-to-day life. You can make your lives easier. You can change your networking sessions, or however way you want to use it in your personal or professional life. And thank you again, Michael, so much. That was a great presentation. Cannot wait for your next time. And,
Yeah.
We already got a selfie, right? So
Yeah, we already got a selfie. Just real quick, the barcode on the left is the repo in case you want to try this yourself. And then the barcode in the right is a link to my link tree where you can stay in touch with me on social media. I'm on social media as Ask Mike AI. So maybe I can get it later, or just message that number you got, and then I'll manually send it later because I didn't set that up yet. But thank you, everyone.
Amazing. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, put it back in.
Great. Well, that was a wonderful presentation. We just learned a lot about how we can use OpenClaw in our day-to-day lives and for our own personal use cases. And so next, we're going to bring up to the stage Gianni Crivello, a wonderful community member of ours. Let's give it up one time for Gianni Crivello. Amazing, amazing. Perfect, perfect. Yeah, so Gianni has been a speaker, a community member of DeepStation now for what, maybe 6 months, a year now? Maybe a year now? Maybe over a year now, yeah. You know, wonderful engineer, you know, worked at really great companies, now formed his own company, and really, really cool about what they're building, an open source project, is that right?
Yep, That's it. That's
That's
it.
right.
Excited to talk about it.
Yeah, so we'll go ahead and just get him set up real quick. And so he spoke a few times at a few of our past events, and former engineer over at Techolution, working with a lot of Fortune 500 companies, and now working with a lot of really great corporations and enterprise and mid-market companies. So he's really deep in the weeds. Him and his co-founder Ethan Henley, who flew out for tonight, they were really great at building AI solutions and really genius level. And so wanted to just kind of get a look at what you're building and how people can help deploy AI to their systems easily and at scale. So amazing. So go ahead and just click. Okay, so you're signed in there. Perfect. Oh, great. We can see the screen fine. Go ahead and just maximize that. There we go. Okay, actually, I'm going to set you up here.
Yeah, I got you. Is this the mic or?
That goes to the live stream.
Gotcha. Okay, cool.
You could also. It's better.
Yeah.
Amazing. So, great.
Testing.
Testing. Okay, great. So we'll go ahead. Oh, actually, amazing. So we'll go ahead and start that over. So welcome Gianni Crivello to the stage. Gianni is a wonderful engineer, been with DeepStation now for over a year, a brilliant engineer, now at Sylow Technologies and co-creator of Nightshift. Is that right?
That's correct. Yep.
Love the name.
That's correct.
Love the name. And so you've got a great demo for us tonight, a great lightning demo about how to deploy agents. Is that correct?
Yep.
Amazing. Well, I'll let you take it from here.
Sounds good. Okay, so can I just get a hand raise if you're an engineer, software engineer? All right. Anyone work on infrastructure, like DevOps, SRE? All right. Vibe coders. Any vibe coders? All right, my people. All right, cool. So I'm going to go over like what a sandbox is. It's core infrastructure right now. Well, first off, my name is Gianni Crivello. I'm the CTO and co-founder of Sylow Technologies. We build and manage core infrastructure. Right now, like most of our work is being done with deploying agents into production and handling production workloads. And that brings pretty interesting constraints, right? So like, and this comes straight from the Claude SDK docs that I'm requoting it. Unlike traditional software that follows predefined code paths, agents essentially can write their own code. So their code that writes more code and can take actions on top of a computer. And so we want this flexibility. It's what makes the agents really useful. It's what gives them their power, but it's also a way for new threat vectors to show up. Right? And so this means that their behavior can be influenced. So defense in depth, it's kind of like a marketing term. Basically means to just layer on top of security protocols so that you have some defense that is deeply in your stack and you can reason about the threat models. So much of security and performance is just understanding your constraints and understanding your environment. So this is a super reasonable way to go about deploying OpenClaw, right? So we have a set.
I'm sorry, can you share your screen one more time?
Yeah, gotcha. Give me 1 second here.
Don't worry, we'll cut it out. We'll be right back.
Okay. Yeah, no worries. Let me. Grant, you want me to share the whole screen just like this? You good? Okay. Alrighty.
Okay. 3, 2, 1.
So this is a reasonable way to deploy OpenClaw, right? So what you typically want to do is you want to deploy the agent inside of a sandbox. If you have defense in depth, your sandbox has its own guest kernel and a guest file system. And anywhere you see red is where something could go wrong and where you'd probably want to apply some security policy, right? So ingress traffic, If you've ever heard of prompt injection, that's what happens, right? So your OpenClaw is listening to email and it gets prompt injected. Well, if your OpenClaw instance is behind or it's inside of a sandbox, the only way you can get to the OpenClaw is you have to go through the host, and that's where you apply some network policy. If something passes through the host, you still have a network bridge that you need to go through. That's another place where you can apply a security policy. And then anything that the agent does that's interesting, like I/O, network I/O, file I/O, that's another place where you would apply security policies directly inside of the sandbox. Okay, so what's a sandbox? A sandbox is a controlled execution environment that limits what a process can access and affect. That's essentially what a sandbox is, and there's different types of sandboxes. There's fancy things in the middle between containers and VMs, like if you've heard of gvisor or Kata containers, but in a nutshell, you have two categories. You have containers and you have VMs. Containers are isolation entirely implemented by the host kernel. So containers share the same host kernel, and it uses container technologies like namespaces, which controls what the process can see, C groups, which controls what a process can consume, and setcomp, which controls what a process can invoke. And then on the right side here, with VMs are typically hardware enforced, and especially some of like the newer technology like micro VMs, they're enforced by the KVM, which is a kernel virtual machine. And they're completely different, right? They wake up, the guest kernel boots, and it thinks it's the only thing on the computer. It boots into ring 0, and operations like I/O trigger what's called VM exits. And so Firecracker is actually a VMM, it's a virtual machine monitor. Anytime the agent does any sort of like file I/O or network I/O, the VM will exit, and then that's another place where you can apply security policies. I have a blog post about building one from scratch in Python. If you want to check it out, it's pretty low level, and Python is, who said Python is not a low level systems language, right? We build one from scratch. And if you go through that, you'll appreciate that we don't build it from scratch in the Nightshift stack. And so we're introducing Nightshift. So Nightshift is a runtime API for managing containers. And so it's composed of 3 components: an agent's instance protocol. So that's the thing that goes inside of the container. And when I say container, I mean some sandbox. The agent implements this protocol. We have an agent OCI spec, which is the container or sandbox is self-describing. So the sandbox will essentially say, hey, I need this many vCPUs, this much memory, I'm allowed to do this, that, or the other. It's going to describe itself to the runtime. And then we have the brain of the operation, which is the agent runtime API, which orchestrates and load balances across the containers the sandboxes that it manages. This is kind of the same thing, but splayed out on a diagram. So HTTP requests come into Nightshift Gateway. There's 2 ways to communicate with Nightshift daemon, through the Nightshift Gateway or through the CLI. The communication beyond the Nightshift Gateway and the Nightshift CLI is all over, it's done with gRPC. It communicates to Nightshift daemon, and then Nightshift, something cool about Nightshift, I don't know when you would want to do this, but it's a flex for the Nightshift daemon, is that you can run heterogeneous sandboxes in the same cluster. So even on the same node. So your node can run Firecracker, Kata containers, Docker containers, even like exotic runtimes like WASI, for example. All right, this is the live demo part. All right, so I'm going to go over here. So what we're going to do, actually, let me go back here. I have a checklist. Okay, so the checklist is we're going to compile and start Nightshift D. We're going to create a Docker file together with this agent OCI spec. We're going to build the agent OCI spec. We're going to deploy into an AWS C5 Metal instance, which is a bare metal instance inside of AWS. You can just replace AWS C5 Metal with any KVM-based machine. And then we're going to stream events from the other side, right? We're going to stream events from the sandbox. All right. So here it is. I hope everyone can see my screen. Yeah, there we go. So this is a terminal, guys. we're going to compile the Nightshift daemon. So -o, Nightshift D, we're going to compile it down Nightshift D. And Nightshift D / main dot go. All right, so we're going to compile down the daemon, which we already have it here. Boom, so we can see it. I'm going to run this, but before I do that, I'm going to show you what a config file looks like in Nightshift. Config. So this is how you control the Nightshift daemon. You have a state dir. You have like agent default. So if you don't define what your container needs, this is essentially like the operator will define that any agent deployed into this is going to use 2 vCPUs, 512 megabytes of memory, have a 300 timeout, and max concurrent VMs of 3, and then we're going to use a default sandbox and Firecracker. Alrighty, so I'm going to start that up. Shift D, I'm going to pass in the config file. Toml. Okay, cool. So we got the Nightshift D started. All right, cool. All right. So then now the next stage is to build Pi. Like this is what we're all here. So we're going to build OpenClaw. Fun fact: Pi is the coding agent underneath OpenClaw. So this is a developer platform, and this is a developer talk. So we're going to deploy the actual harness. And so I went into my examples here, which is also available on the GitHub. Really simple Docker file, right? So we deploy right here. We're going to install the Pi coding agent, which is essentially OpenClaw. And then this is where the OCI spec comes in. So we label that this is the V1 protocol. This specific instance is going to need 2 vCPUs, 1024 memory, has a 600 timeout, and we're going to default, or we want a VM. So VM just kind of maps to Firecracker, which is a micro VM. If you put here instead for a container, this would run Docker. Alrighty, so here we go. Let's build this image together. You don't need a GPU for this. So we're gonna deploy here, build -t, give it a namespace, Pi agent, latest, and we're gonna build this together. All right, we built the container. All right, cool. So now we're going to go over to Postman here, and we're going to communicate directly with the running Nightshift daemon, right? And so in this case, we're going to hit the deploy endpoint. I'm going to name this deployment OpenClaw, and then I'm going to pass it in an image ref, which is the container we just built. All right, so we just deployed it, and it's obeying our request, right? So 2 vCPUs, the memory, the timeout, and then the important part here is the sandbox, right? Let me list my agents out on with Nightshift D. And so we have one of my test agents from before. And if I scroll down here underneath, and here it is. Here's our deployment of OpenClaw. I'm going to create a run. So I'm going to ask OpenClaw, say hello and tell me what 2 + 2 is briefly. I'm going to hit invoke. It's now in run phase pending. So what the container does under the hood is, you can see the logs here. The Firecracker VM starts up. It opens up, read writes, and then the Firecracker VM is ready, and now it's running the actual task. So if I go here, so if I grab this run ID, and I go to stream events,
Can you zoom in just a little bit?
of course. Better, guys? It's good. If I go to stream events, and I pass in my run ID, we'll see the actual streamed events here. So these are the text. So if you've developed with these APIs, they stream back text deltas. Those are all the text deltas that stream back from our Firecracker VM. And then if I get the run, here we go, let me delete it. We should be able to see that the run succeeded. Okay. All right. Run phase complete. That's the demo, guys.
We have a few minutes for questions. Does anyone have any questions about sandboxing, OpenClaw? Any questions? Oh, question over here. Oh, we're passing a mic to you.
From someone that's just getting started, going from building apps and designing them themselves, going into agentic workflows, what would you say is the way to set up the context files, the guardrails, the BPS, everything that is going to have to do with safety? It's going to make sure it doesn't go off the rails or do something that you don't want it to, or design in a way that you would like it to if it was you, for example.
So there's a lot there, right? So I have a diagram here, which is so you asked how you get started. This is a very reasonable way to get started, right? If you're serious about security, you're serious about running these things, and like, let's just say that you're running agents and you're running a multi-tenant, like you are an operator and you're running a multi-tenant platform. So other people, other developers can deploy into the platform. And so you have like different customer workloads and all of those workloads are untrusted. This is a very reasonable way to get started, like out of the box, right here, right? So you have a host machine. You have a host machine. You deploy your sandbox. The sandbox has its like own stack of everything. It has its guest kernel, it has its guest file system, it even has its own guest networking. You apply policies at the points where things can go wrong. You should be good. Yes.
One second.
One second, you're gonna have to repeat this so everybody can hear.
Okay, coming from a non-developer coding technical background, and obviously something like OpenClaw is accessible to everyone, including someone who's not a programmer. You speak another language, even though I'm sure you're explaining it in the most basic way. Where or what is a good way to start so that it's not so intimidating and overwhelming? Because I'm sure a lot of people in this room probably what you were coding and entering into your run program, but it's, yeah, where does one start if we want to? Yeah.
So you guys don't program runtimes?
Not scared of it, but want to know where to start.
I can answer that question.
Sure.
Come to the Miami-Dade AI clinics.
I was just gonna say. It's up to the like runtime builders to make these things more accessible. Like one of the core tenets of our platform is that the open source project is that we want to make it such that doing the right thing is easy. We're not there yet, but we're getting there. And so if anyone wants to help out, we're open source. Great question. It's a great question. It's up to us to make these things more accessible.
Yeah. Yeah, I just want to make a comment on that and also the question that was around there. Unfortunately, this technology involves some technical stuff, you know? You need to learn a little bit of some things. But if you want to get started, there are some services out there. Like, for example, there is one called Hostinger that provides some VPS, which is a virtual computer. And once you have one of those, just with one click, you can just deploy that server and access your graphical user interface to interact with OpenClaw. And then you can pair that OpenClaw with either Telegram or WhatsApp or any channel that you want to use. That's the easier way, because any other way, like creating the sandboxes, configuring a Mac Mini, like creating a Docker container, all of that involves some type of technicism. and you need to learn. And it's good because you are looking for something new, you need to start learning the new language, because we are in that field right now. But the good thing about it is that with 2-3 easy steps, you can get access to the technology. Then, if you want to go a little more further and learn, it becomes technical, because this is based on a concept called an agent, and an agent is like a really good piece of technology. Okay?
Amazing, amazing. Let's give that up. We'll have two more questions from the audience before we move to the next one. But for real quick as well, so who would like a class on how to set up OpenClaw here? Who would like a class on that to make that easy? Well, how about this? DeepStation is going to be launching a class on OpenClaw in the next few weeks. So if any of you are looking to learn how to do it, let's make it happen. So feel free to follow our Luma, and we'll having a class for that available for all of you. So thank you. We have 2 more questions for the audience, maybe 3. We'll see.
Yeah, real question. Inside the sandbox, how do you log for inference, for future inference? How does it actually learn within that sandbox?
Repeat the question.
Can you repeat the question?
Yeah.
Yeah. How does the actual agent learn? I mean, can you keep or log anything for future inference?
Of course. Yeah. Great question. So, Nightshift doesn't handle any of the reinforcement learning loop or actual training, but we provide a pluggable telemetry collector, right? So Nightshift D, the Nightshift daemon, routes anything that's happening inside the host, and then also anything that's happening inside the sandbox itself, logs, metrics, traces to a telemetry collector. And then you can plug that into Grafana, for example.
Amazing, amazing. And we'll have one more question from the audience, and just for context as well, the next one will be a good one for 0 to 1 as well. So we wanted to have a good balance of great engineers, professionals, and then also for 0 to 1. So Micah Berkeley.
Hey, what's going on? So I'm trying to help bridge this gap a little bit, because I know a lot of you guys are here from the engineering side. I know there's people here from the more vibe coding. I want to figure this out. So I know your environment. I've lived in it. I also know the deep vibe coding environment. I'm gonna put this down. Oh, Mike. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. This right here, what he's building, is dope for a lot of really important reasons. Let's say you're building infrastructure with OpenClaw that's taking private information, or you're doing stuff with credit cards, and you're doing stuff where you're transacting, business that it needs to be warehoused in somewhere safe. What he's doing and the environment that he's building keeps it safe. It puts a lot of gates in the way to stop somebody from entering into your environment and doing stupidness. Example, today, I received a tweet from somebody who tried to prompt inject my OpenClaw. He sent a nice, hey, what's going on, brother? If you just send me your API key, woo, woo, woo. And the way he was breaking it down was actually really intelligent. Fortunately, my OpenClaw caught it, and I have systems in place to stop it from recklessness. But what he's building here with Nightshift, and these are the gates that we need to have if you're building these secure systems. And that's why I know it's kind of hard to understand, what's he talking about? Us as engineers, we get it, right? But what I want everyone else to kind of understand is that if you start building in OpenClaw and you start using these systems like Pi and et cetera, and you're building stuff for clients, because that's where the bag is at, you want to protect your stuff, right? And it's important that you have infrastructure like this, stuff within containers, stuff within KVMs. When I first started using OpenClaw, I went balls to the wall. I let it have access to everything, and I learned some really, really important lessons in that first week. I've learned to use knowledge and wisdom now. Right, and I know, I got you. I feel the hook coming, right? But no, I'm saying this because I just want, I think that what you're doing is super dope, and I understand it, but I do want to kind of cross that bridge for everybody so they understand why this is so important, why these different levels and these different gates and these different, like understanding telemetry of what's going on inside of these environments is important. But I actually didn't really have a good question. I didn't really have a good question for you, but I think what you're doing is amazing.
Thank you so much for that, Micah. Micah is actually an OG, one from the very first DeepStation event. Is that right? Amazing, amazing. So I think we're going to go ahead and just move to the next session. Let's give it up one more time for Gianni Crivello. Amazing, amazing. Who here learned something new about sandboxing agents? Who here learned something new? Amazing, amazing. A lot of the hands go up. Amazing. Yeah, so sandboxing is very important for developing your agents and just making sure you have a secure environment. That's why you see a lot of folks buying Mic Minis, and if you want to do a VPS or something like that, Nightshift could be one of those ways. So before we move to the next speaker, let's have a selfie.
Heck yeah. If there isn't a selfie, it didn't happen, right?
True. Amazing, amazing. Yeah, as you might have said, if there's no selfie, it didn't happen. All right, so let's give it up one more time for Gianni. So we're going to bring up our last speaker for the to the stage, and he's a really great friend of mine and a really great friend of the show, as some might say. But yes, a really great engineer, really great person. He's going to break it down when it comes to OpenClaw, right? It's going to be more of a conversation. It's going to be more of a workflow, how he interacts with it. So this is a great one for like a 0 to 1. So we'll be bringing up Alan Garcia to the stage. Let's give it up for Alan Garcia. Amazing, amazing. Can't wait for this one. We'll be setting up for just a second, and we'll be getting started. So just go ahead and plug in that USB-C, and we should be good to go. Who here learned something new about OpenClaw today? Let's give it up one more time. Who wants a class on OpenClaw? Amazing, amazing.
Is this for me?
Yeah, yeah. Thank you. Make sure it's on.
Appreciate it.
Yes. All right, so now, actually, let me go ahead and just click this button. USB-C, correct? That's USB-C? Oh, can you plug this in? Can you plug that into your computer? Yeah. We'll just be setting that up for one more second, and it should be good to go. Amazing, amazing. Video over IP should now become the slides. Some might say there's AI, and then there's AV.
Are we good here?
Cool. Yeah, we're good. Yes. Although I think the screen is extended, so I think we need to mirror the screen. Yeah, so we just go to screen mirroring. Yeah, stop extending. Perfect. That should do it. And then you got to choose to mirror, apparently. Yes, choose content, then just entire screen,
Yeah,
perfect.
that's good.
And there we go, amazing. So for this, could you just do the present?
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, great, so we'll start. All right, so let's give it up for Alan one more time. So Alan has been a community member for over a year now. Wonderful person, wonderful engineer, great speaker, great industry professional. He's head of industry, was a former full stack engineer over for the New York Times, worked as a software engineer for Cornell University, and now is head of engineering for Soma Capital. Is that right?
Sir.
Amazing, amazing. Yes. So what are you going to be speaking on today, Alan?
So today we're going to be talking about OpenClaw and the intent era.
And the intent era.
The intent era.
Amazing. So let me make sure this is set up for you.
Yep. Is this just for the stream?
Can you speak in there?
Yes.
Perfect.
All
right, so let's get started.
Hello, everyone. I'm Alan. I run engineering at Soma Capital. I spend my days at the intersection of building software, evaluating companies, and working alongside AI agents. And they're getting scarily capable. Today, I want to talk about one thing that we all need to get right. There's this phrase going around, you can just do things. And it's true. Right now, today, you can spin up an agent, point it at a code base, and it'll ship your code. You can tag an AI in Slack, come back to a pull request. The cost of building has collapsed. But here's what nobody talks about, and I think we should. Last month, I asked an agent, Last month, I asked an agent to configure a remote server. It set up everything perfectly. Firewall, VPN, services. Then when I asked it to change one setting, it edited the wrong server's config. My gateway crashed, looped 125 times, and the agent went silent. So you can just do things, but you can also just break things at 2 a.m., and your agent isn't talking to you anymore. The question isn't whether AI can do things. We're past that. The question is, does your AI know which thing to do and why? Because that's where every failure I've seen, mine included, actually happens. Let me give you a quick framework, just run through what I've been seeing. We've moved through 3 eras, right? The prompt era, the context era, the intent era. Tell AI what to do, tell AI what to know, and then align with the AI with your intent. The prompt era, you write this function, summarize this doc, one person, one ask, one prompt. The GP33s of the world, the generative AI that was blowing our minds in 2022, 2023. It was all good, and we moved on to the context era. You start leveraging RAG, long context, tool use. The tools got dramatically better, but we're still there, sitting there, feeding context, session by session. Now, we're seeing OpenClaw bring us to the intent era. You tell AI what to want, not just the task, the goal, the constraints, the judgment. And here's the key difference. Intent means the system knows your goals, your constraints, and your judgment before you open the chat. This shift where intent leads, it isn't new. It's happened before. Ford didn't invent the car. He organized the assembly line. The same workers, one car every 93 minutes instead of every 12 hours. Malcolm McLean, he didn't invent shipping. He just standardized the container. Loading dropped from 5 days to 8 hours. And in 1973, Unix pipes connected small programs by passing intent between them. Same compute, radically different power. Every one of these was the same moment, not a new invention, but a new way of organizing what already existed. And I think that's where we are with AI. So what does this actually look like? My agent runs an OpenClaw. When it starts a session, before I say a single word, it reads the 3 files: the soul, the user, the memory. The soul defines what the agent is: its judgment, defaults, its tone, its boundaries. Think of it as the agent's value system. The user defines who I am: my role, my preferences, my constraints. For example, me, I'm head of engineering. I prefer direct answers. I run my infrastructure on a VPS. I don't do it locally on my Mac Mini. And then the memory. This accumulates the decisions, the context, the lessons learned across every single session. When an agent crashes, the next one reads the same memory and picks up where it left off. So we're prompting, but we're also encoding intent persistently into that layer that survives agent death. And we've seen why OpenClaw has been so popular, because they actually leverage this. And what is the difference, right? If I'm just prompting, I say SSH into 5.161.238.10, check if the gateway is running. There's a config right there. Watch out for the tail scale binding issue we hit last month. That's context in every session from scratch. When I encode intent, I say, check on the deployment. 4 words. The agent already knows which server, which stack, the failure history, and the constraints. The judgment is pre-loaded. And we need to talk about this. We need to make this happen in our agents. Most agents live in the now. They optimize for the current task, but intent means you align your agent with your vision. Is it this week's vision, this month's vision? Is it a multi-year vision, right? Like, what kind of agents are you building? Does your framework support that? My memory files don't just track what happened yesterday, they encode where the product should be in 2 years and work backwards from that. That's unsolved for a lot of teams. Some teams don't even specify where they're going enough for their agents to leverage that information in that context. And I think that's the biggest unlock ahead of all of us. There's a concept emerging about the product thinker, someone bilingual, like deep in technology and culture, holding the long-term vision, ensuring the narrative is load-bearing from the start. In the intent era, this person is one that has organizational judgment and embeds it into the agent layer. The agents will come and go. The intent can carry the multi-year continuity. And this pattern is actually showing up anywhere, everywhere, in a lot of really great enterprise companies. One of the main, not yet. So one of the main guys that I follow, he's a builder, and now he's he's part of the growth team at Cognition. You know, he releases a lot of really good information and really good repos. He's leveraging these tools himself, right? He recently got hired at Cognition. Now he tags agents. He just describes the fix. He comes back to a PR. But the reason why that works isn't magic, right? Devin, the tool being built by Cognition, it carries intent across tasks. The async nature of this is a feature, of the architecture, right? It's like not the point. The point isn't that we can just do async tasks and ask our agents to do all this stuff. It's that we're building in the intent into our frameworks. The people that are winning aren't writing better prompts, they're building systems where the intent persists. And there's another side to this, right? And I think this is important. In 2024, Klarna tried to front run this AI success story. They replaced customer service with an AI agent. It handled 2.3 million conversations in its first month. Resolution time dropped from 11 minutes to 2. It did the work of 853 employees, more people than there are here today. They saved $60 million. Wall Street loved it. The stock moved. And then the CEO went on Bloomberg to explain why they were hiring humans back. The AI executed the task perfectly every time, but it didn't know why certain customers needed to be handled differently. It didn't carry the intent of what the customer relationships were actually for. The measurable thing improved. The thing that actually mattered broke. And this pattern may continue to happen if we don't actually encode intent into our systems. Companies that deploy AI that executes flawlessly and still need to wonder why things get worse, it's probably because we didn't encode what success actually meant beyond the task. Capability without intent is expensive chaos. So here's the insight that changes how I build. Remember my agent that bricked itself at 2 a.m., like went into 125 like crash loops and went silent? That agent actually died. The handoff doc that I was writing while I was working with that agent, that is what persisted. And when the crash happened, that was still there. The memory file with the server details, the constraint, the never change the bind config on the local server warning, I actually ended up spinning up a different agent and was able to resolve the problem, picking up exactly where we left off. The agent was disposable, the intent wasn't. And when you internalize that agents are ephemeral, you can design differently. Zero trust becomes obvious. You think of this system more as a distributed system, and you start making sure that your security is tight. So even if the agents come and go, you can revoke their access. You can make sure that your credentials are safe. you know how to make them work together. And you do this not because you're paranoid, but because disposable agents, they require disposable credentials and disposable sandboxes and all of these things that we've been talking about. So Cognition isn't building a better coding agent. They're building a system where intent transfers between agents and humans seamlessly. OpenClaw's architecture is built around this. Agents are sessions that come and go, but memory and intent persist across all of them. The org compounds not because of a single agent, but in spite of ephemeral agents, because the intent layer holds. So we'll keep it high level, but I do want to leave you with something that you can use. Here's a test. Look at the last 10 interactions with any AI tool that you use, ChatGPT, Claude, Cursor, an agent, whatever. How many times did you re-explain something that the system should have already known? Your role, your code base, your preferences, the decision you made last week, the mistake you fixed yesterday. Every re-explanation is an intent gap. It's context that should have been encoded but wasn't. It's you doing the work that the system should have been doing. Now, ask the harder questions. How many times did the AI do something technically correct, but strategically wrong? The right code, the wrong file, a good answer, a wrong priority, a successful task, but a missed goal. That's the deeper intent gap, and that's the one that's gonna cost us. The winners in the next 2 years, they won't have better models. They'll have better judgment and systems that carry that judgment forward. Every context switch I make from code to people to product is in the service of a single intent. The tools I use only work because they know what that intent is. So I'll leave you with one question. Do your agents actually know what you want? Thank you, Alan. And you can reach me at alan@somacap.com. Let's talk.
Any questions from the audience? We'll get you from here over the back. Here you go.
Oh, thanks, Grant. Alan, thanks for the presentation. I'm also an investor, and I'm just curious, what workflows do you use OpenClaw for to evaluate companies and quickly screen them?
You're sharing your Slack.
Yeah, I know. We actually do not do that yet. Right now, we're actually doing most of our work with our CRM. So making sure that we keep a pulse on what relationships we have, who we need to reach out to, what information they're sending our way. We haven't actually leveraged OpenClaw specifically for diligence or evaluating other companies.
Coming to you. We'll just kind of work our way forward.
Hi. What happens if the memory file exceeds context length?
What happens?
Yeah.
It'll be compacted.
Does that affect any of the quality afterwards?
Yeah, absolutely. Here, let me show you guys something that has been useful to me. I have a cron job running a context usage report that just tells me what amount of characters I've used in my memory. So my memory is the file that's taking up the most space. My agent is second, my tools is third, soul, have very little soul. The identity and the user, and I'm not using Harpy right now. So I'm at 17%. And this is just something useful. I get a report on this every day. I don't see it changing that much. I have a few specific workflows that are really good for me, specifically on this server for these use cases. And it is interesting, though, to dive into your memory and see how accurately OpenClaw actually maintains your memory file. I think there are better ways to do it. I've been looking at certain open source systems. There's one called Spark that does a lot of filtering and sort of intelligent looping around all the information that you're sending it and tries to refine your memory over time. So there's a lot of solutions that are coming out these days that I think are going to be something that more OpenClaw users are going to be leveraging, and I'm really excited for them. But this is just like a basic rudimentary thing that anybody could do. I can actually share, the simple prompt that allows anybody to leverage this on their OpenClaw instance. I'd be happy to do that.
Amazing, amazing. A few more questions.
So I have an issue with my OpenClaw bot. This morning, it kind of forgot some tasks and how to do them properly. So this morning, I had to download the Telegram chat and send it back to it to see and kind of teach it like, hey, this is what's been going on this week, and this is where you kind of fell off in the task.
Yeah.
Can you help us to avoid this in the future? But to his question, he's mentioned the context. So mine kept saying, memory update failed, and then, so now I'm confused. How do I compact the memory and still have it remember and do everything correctly? Do you have a solution for that?
Yeah, so compacting is something that every agent framework is implementing differently, and it does end up lowering the quality of the memories. It is essential, obviously, because of context management. To your point, I think you should say that louder. There is of using self-referential links to past conversations and give them back to your agents. I've found that to be very useful. I actually deploy my agents on Slack, and I face the same problem. I actually haven't solved this. I'm looking for a really good either open source, or affordable solution to do this for my personal agents. But these self-referential links that bring that context back, I think, are really essential for you building the right memory in the different sessions that occur in your OpenClaw. So in Slack, it makes it really easy. You just right-click, you say copy link, and you send the link to that conversation. The agent will just read it, and it'll know, okay, that's the GitHub repository, or that's the server. This is the outcome that we have that we need to iterate on. Things of that nature are actually really helpful. And then you want to be very specific sometimes about when you ask your agent to update its memory, and that helps. But yeah, I think we should try to find and share the best open source tools to help us refine our memory, because that is something that's really going to benefit a lot of us.
Yeah, and we have a group chat as well as other ways that you can stay connected. So if folks find open source frameworks or other ways of improving our OpenClaw agents, feel free to hop in. I'll share a QR code at the end. Maybe 2 more questions from the audience. I really like these questions. Great job.
Thank you. So with OpenClaw becoming more and more popular, I'm seeing competitors and OpenClaw kind of like wrappers coming out. Specifically, one very popular right now is called Hermes Agent. So I wanted to ask you, where do you kind of see that with, OpenClaw becoming more and more safe and accessible, with time goes on and that curve kind of like flattens out and, more people start to adopt it, as well as other tools like OpenFang, for example, like
Open what?
OpenFang.
OpenFang.
It's an agent operating system that allows you to deploy agents as well as safely. And going back to the previous speaker, allows you to also execute it via Sandbox as well. So I want to know if you have heard of these tools at all.
I've heard of Hermes just today.
Okay.
I did not have time to actually look into it, but I think that it's amazing. OpenClaw is just the dawning of the era. OpenAI, acquired it. Now they have the original author, and probably everybody else who wants to continue to support and contribute. But there are better architects than Peter. There are people who didn't just vibe code this, who have certain approaches to security that are different. One of them in particular has a similar sort of paradigm as OpenClaw, that it can build itself, but it keeps its initial code base very small, and it builds out its capabilities as you specify what you need. I think that's the NanoClaw or the Nanobot. I forget specifically which one. And then there's the other frameworks that build on top OpenClaw. So for example, there's a CRM called IronClaw that is literally just an extension of OpenClaw, but for CRM purposes, similar to Mike's approach of building what was it called? Next Contact or something? NextHello. Yeah, so of building NextHello on top of OpenClaw. I think the beauty of this is that of OpenClaw in particular, is that it was like an open source win. Like all of us could leverage it, extend it, hopefully keep up to date with the security updates that are coming in, sponsored by OpenAI. Like the one issue with OpenClaw though is that the surface area is huge, right? It's very hard to audit. I know that's why Mike, was shying away from it. And the things that I do is I just audit every skill that I use. I try to just build my own skills. I don't want a bunch of dependencies hanging around my data, right? And obviously also firewalling it, adding tail scale around my devices. Basically only I can access it and anybody in my organization via Slack, so.
One more question from the audience. Any questions? All right. Maybe we should have more questions. I love these questions. They're all amazing, amazing questions. If you have a question, actually, do you have a question? Oh, here you go.
Hey, so why do you want to use OpenClaw if you can use like a tool that's already sandboxed, or you can avoid all this like tricky setup like Manus or Claude Code?
I'd love to look into Manus. I haven't had time. I was really just tinkering with OpenClaw, and it wasn't difficult. It was not difficult to set it up. It's actually very easy. That's one of the reasons why I started investing more and more time. I now have like 4 servers up for different purposes. The reason why I think OpenClaw in general, and specifically for me, is awesome is because it's a glue layer between a bunch of services that I already use in a way that other harnesses, so for example, ChatGPT Desktop, have not allowed me to do. Claude Cowork is a bit better at that. It has really good connectors. Obviously, it has MCP, but the way that OpenClaw allows itself to build its capabilities, I think, is one of the big, points of using something like that.
But you said to yourself, like even like with the agent dying and stuff, like if you run it on Claude Code, like your agent's not just gonna randomly die, like even in the middle of a task or something. Because I tried both of them, and I've done a lot of stuff that people do with OpenClaw with Claude Code, and
Yeah.
I just feel like it's a lot more stable and reliable.
Absolutely, you can do what you do with OpenClaw with Claude Code, and have at it. I mean, go for it. A lot of the features that we see Claude Code now delivering are actually mimicking some of the connectivity and interfacing that you can do a little bit more naturally with OpenClaw. So as I was saying, this is sort of like the dawn of an era of like actually being able to glue things together in a way that really only Claude with its desktop application was allowing you to do. The thing about OpenClaw is that you can own it, right? Like you can install it on your VPS, on your Mac Mini. You can take it wherever you want, really.
Have you tried using like a database for memory? Oh, sorry. Like instead of using the memory.md file, like maybe like MongoDB, to have like all the like Telegram chat records and pull from there.
Yeah, I have some of our LP data is in SQLite.
What do you say?
Some of our data is in SQLite.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you're not pulling from there while you're using OpenClaw?
Yeah, we do.
So you have like the memory file, and then you have like all the records inside the database that you also pull?
Yeah, you could do that.
Because I heard him talking about the Telegram like chat. So it was like, well, all the record, like all the chat history, I would put that in a database, not like in a memory file. Right?
Sorry, I didn't hear what you were saying.
I would put the chat history in a database, not a memory file. Correct?
Sorry, I'm not following.
Yeah. So what you're saying is, because you have like, let's say a Telegram chat, you can use that chat history and then save that data. Is that correct? And now you have the conversation history?
It's like a memory file
Yeah. I would say there's like multiple ways you can go about that, right? So you can go about it whenever you get a webhook or something and you get, or a socket and you get some data from the message, then you could save that into your own database. So you could save your own type of conversation structure. And then, you have it kind of labeled similarly to the OpenAI method where it's like assistant, user, system, for example, right? And so you can save it yourself, or you can go back probably to your previous chats and then save it directly from your chat history from those apps. So I think there's many ways to make an omelet, right? And that's what's really great about OpenClaw, am I right? Amazing. Well, let's give it up again for Alan. And naturally, we have to get a selfie, or it didn't happen. Let's get a selfie in here. Amazing. Let's give it up one more time for our speakers tonight. Honestly, I was thinking about it, and I was like, what if we just had like all the speakers come up and just answer questions in a future event? I think that'd be a lot of fun because I can see there's a lot of thirst for knowledge and a lot of questions, and I think in the future we'll have some speakers come up next time and just all answer questions maybe for one of these sessions because I think there's like a lot of questions that folks have. And I think we learned a lot today about the intent era. Who learned more about how we can leverage OpenClaw in our environments today? Amazing. Love seeing that. And so we do this every other week or so. We're partnered with Miami-Dade College, and we're also partnered with Nova Southeastern University and also the lab. So I have a few things I just want to, quickly go over. One of those, thank you so much. One of those things is we do have a hackathon coming up. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're having a Google hackathon on March 20th. Cash prizes, Google Agent SDK, Gemini API, Google Anti-Gravity. We're presenting this with Miami-Dade College and the Lab Miami. And we're partnering with Outrival, Miami TechWorks, Coffin Rawson, AI Salon, Hello Miami, and the AI Collective. Wonderful communities. So if you'd like to join our community, ask these questions in our WhatsApp group, our Telegram, our Discord, or follow us on YouTube, or even potentially our Instagram, then you're more than welcome to follow this QR code and get all of those goodies. And by the way, all the presentation slides will also be shared on our WhatsApp. The video will be shared on YouTube. And so, if you would like to be a sponsor of our events, feel free to scan this QR code, and we would very gladly be able to sponsor and share the message of your company. And last and almost least, actually, if anyone would like to support us, this is how you can go ahead and support. If you want to, just chip in like $20 a month or something like that, we do have that option as well for you. And last but not least, thank all of you for being just absolutely amazing. We're really excited to make this a wonderful community with all of you. Let's give it up one more time for our wonderful community. And naturally, let's all get a picture over here, and then we can have our networking time. Let's get a picture over here. Thank you so much, everyone. Picture time. Perfect. Yeah, we'll just come on up over here. Just get a nice picture with all of us.
What service can I get your LinkedIn?
I think so.
LinkedIn, or you can just email me at alan@somacap.com. Yeah.
Yeah, if everyone can come up over here, we'll take a picture. We'll just line up along this way.
Somafellows.com. I'll send it in the group chat.
What if we go in the front?
Yeah.
Yeah, what if we go in the front? I think that'd be easier picture time.
Easier over there?
Yeah.
Yeah, hi. How do I, nice to meet you, Mark.
Nice to meet you as well.
How do I...
I don't think we want to take a picture.
You know what? No picture today. We don't need a picture. Yeah, have fun. We'll get to networking.
I'll take a picture with you.
Yeah. Let's get a picture. That was usually, that did not work. How are you?
Yeah, good event. How do I become one of the speakers?
Yeah, so we have a speaker forward.
Qué bueno.
Te quería hacer una pregunta. Yo no soy muy técnico, yo trabajo más en finanzas.
Okay.
Pero estoy muy interesado en toda la parte de inteligencia artificial. En este momento, a veces como que posteo cosas. Quería saber si puedo como quote parte de lo que has dicho en tu presentación hoy. en LinkedIn, en algún post que haga. Pero pues antes de hacerlo quería preguntarte de algunas frases que mencionaste,
Sí, está
los
bien.
recuadros me parecieron buenísimos. De hecho, hoy había posteado algo de Intent que...
¿Oh, de veras?
Sí, casualmente. Que lo leí del CEO de un startup argentino que hace pagos. Entonces él estaba hablando que se llama Ripio.
Ok. ¿Es cripto o...? Ok. Interesante.
Entonces estaba hablando precisamente del Intent. Y digamos, me parece que está súper bien. Que
Sí.
es la siguiente etapa.
Es bien claro, pero es algo que a mí me entró hace como 15 años. Porque yo estaba haciendo aplicaciones de Android y tienen en su SDK, tienen uno de los layers que se llama un intent. Es una parte de cómo mandan información entre los módulos. Así que por eso que usé eso, pero yo también he visto en FinTech que hay varias personas hablando de intent. Así que sí, tal vez es una palabra que nos ayuda a entender mejor cómo
La siguiente etapa.
formalizar sí, las cosas.
Bueno, te envío una invitación para conectar el LinkedIn.
¿Sí?
Sí.
Juan.
Bueno, Alan,
Ok.
muchas gracias.
Buenas noches.
Que estés bien.
I think she was first.
Oh, that's my fiance.
Okay,
That's Julia.
well, that works too. Wanted to ask a quick question. I work at a VC firm as well.
Oh, word. Here in Florida? Where are they based?
No, we're smaller. Actually, you know how Neil owns like the obviously the Kings.
Kings, yeah.
The guy I work for is Joe Montana's son.
Oh, awesome.
And I think they're pretty sure they're friends.
Yeah. I mean, Anil was here he lived here for a while.
Yeah. What like, do you guys not have a Florida office anymore? Or what's going on?
It's just me right now. We have our Oh shoot, this is. We have our portfolio companies here.
Okay.
And sometimes we go to their offices, but yeah, it's just me. Our HQ is in New York, and we have an SF office as well.
Okay.